We open in the rural Isan region of Thailand, where a documentary crew is filming Nim, a local shaman. But this isn't just any spiritual documentary. What they're about to capture will push them to the edge of sanity. Nim claims to be possessed by Ba Yan, an ancient goddess who has protected these villages for generations. Only women in her family can become Ba Yan's medium, a sacred role passed down through the generations. But Nim wasn't supposed to be the chosen one. That honor belonged to her older sister Noi, who refused the calling and converted to Christianity instead. When Noi rejected Ba Yan, the goddess chose Nim by force. The crew accompanies Nim to the funeral of Wiroj, Noi's husband, who has just passed away from cancer. Nim reveals a chilling pattern. Every man in Wiroj's family has met a tragic end. Wiroj's father ended his own life after being caught committing insurance fraud at his thread factory. Wiroj's son, Mak, perished in what was called a traffic accident. Now Wiroj is gone too, leaving behind his widow Noi and their daughter, Mink. When Mink approaches Nim with a shopping list, the shaman's face changes. She senses something deeply wrong. Later, they witness Mink screaming at a man with disturbing aggression. That night, Nim notices Mink staring intensely at a blind, elderly woman. The old woman stares back. The next morning, the blind woman is found deceased. Nim follows Mink and finds her standing outside a room, her body twitching unnaturally. Searching Mink's bedroom, Nim finds a pata ba, a protective amulet that locals use to ward off evil spirits. Mink's best friend reveals footage of her acting like a small child at the mall, riding kiddie rides and pushing children away. Nim wonders if Ba Yan is trying to move into Mink. But what's happening isn't divine at all. Mink's behavior grows increasingly bizarre. She exhibits multiple personalities, sometimes a child, sometimes an old man or drunkard. She experiences severe nightmares and hears voices that won't stop. One morning at work, her co-workers find her sleeping inside the office. When they wake her, everyone notices she's bleeding uncontrollably from between her legs. She rushes to the bathroom in a panic. Noi takes Mink to the hospital, where doctors can't find any physical cause for her pain. When asked about her dreams, Mink describes seeing a massive man in red with talismans that tries to speak but makes no sound. During her commute, Mink suddenly slaps an elderly woman and is forced off the vehicle. At a local celebration, she starts scratching her gums with her fingernails until her teeth are stained with blood. At the parade, she throws decorations at the crowd. Her boss later fires her after checking security footage that revealed Mink had been having intimate relations with multiple men in the office after hours. That night, Noi finds Mink unconscious on the bathroom floor, covered in blood from cutting her wrists. They rush her to the hospital just in time. Noi tells Nim she's ready to allow the acceptance ceremony, but Nim delivers devastating news. Whatever is possessing Mink isn't Ba Yan at all. Nim and her brother Manit search Mac's room and make a horrifying discovery. Mink and her brother Mac were involved in an inappropriate relationship. Mac didn't die in an accident. He ended his own life because of what happened between them. Nim goes to the forest, where Mac took his final breath and prays, trying to convince his spirit to leave Mink alone. Meanwhile, without Nim's knowledge, Noi and Manit take Mink to another shaman to perform the ceremony. The ceremony begins, but Nim rushes in to stop it. Suddenly, Mink grabs a camera and repeatedly strikes Noi with it until her mother loses consciousness, then runs into the night and vanishes. The family searches for hours with no trace. When Noi wakes, Nim says the only way to find Mink is through a ceremony. She takes Noi up the mountain to pray to Ba Yan. But first, Noi must open her heart to the goddess and beg forgiveness for rejecting her. A full month passes with no sign of Mink. Then during a ritual, Nim cracks open an egg and black liquid pours out. She realizes Mac has nothing to do with what's happening. Following her instinct, she goes to the field where Mink was last seen and discovers a dark, abandoned thread factory. On the 5th floor, she finds Mink unconscious and covered in dirt. At the hospital, doctors say Mink is stable but malnourished. The next day, Nim goes to make a sacrifice and discovers someone has decapitated the statue of Ba Yan, a horrifying mockery of the sacred goddess. Back home, Mink looks completely possessed. When Nim visits, she growls like an animal and taunts Nim to guess who she really is. Then, Mink tears off her shirt and becomes physically aggressive toward Manit. As Nim chants a prayer, Mink reveals that Nim only became a shaman because Noi manipulated it, placing talismans in her shoes and forcing her to wear certain clothes. Nim forces Mink to vomit black liquid, but this only enrages whatever is inside her. They take Mink to Santi, a renowned shaman with greater spiritual power. He delivers horrifying news. The failed ceremony made Mink a vessel for any spirit. She's now possessed by hundreds of vengeful spirits. Wairoj's ancestors eliminated hundreds of people, and as they perished, they cursed the family. When Wairoj married Noi, who had rejected Ba Yan's protection, the family's fate was sealed. Santi decides to perform an elaborate exorcism at the abandoned factory. In the days leading up to the ritual, the evil spirits grow more aggressive. The crew installs night vision cameras that reveal Mink crawling like an animal through the house at night, relieving herself on the dining table and consuming raw meat. She takes the family's dog and prepares it in a pot while still alive, then consumes it. One night, she takes Manit's infant son Pong from his crib. After a frantic search, they find him unharmed in the grass. But Mink watches nearby with a disturbing expression before attacking with a knife. The day before the ceremony, Nim is found deceased in her bed. No one knows what caused her sudden death. Despite this loss, Santi proceeds with the ritual. His students surround the factory with protective spells and incense. Since Mink is too violent, Santi plans to use Noi as a vessel, transferring the evil spirits into her body, then exorcising them and trapping them in a sealed jar. The ritual begins. Blood flows from Noi's mouth. She kneels and vomits the evil spirits into a jar before collapsing. Back at the house, baby Pong mysteriously appears inside Mink's sealed room. When Bang hears her son's cries, she tears away the holy papers keeping Mink contained, breaking the protection. The ritual immediately fails. Santi ends his own life while holding the jar. Bang enters Mink's room and is stabbed in the neck with glass. At the factory, a power outage plunges everything into darkness. Santi's students become possessed and attack the crew with savage violence. Noi regains consciousness, claiming Ba Yan has possessed her, bringing brief hope. She tells them to gather the broken jar to seal the spirits again. But then she starts laughing and turns the incense upside down. She isn't possessed by Ba Yan at all. Manit and the remaining students become possessed. Manit attacks a cameraman before leaping from the building to his death. Through night vision, we see Noi approach Mink and chant a prayer that seems to work. Mink appears to return to normal and softly calls out, "Mom." Distracted by this glimpse of her daughter, Noi's concentration breaks. Mink grabs her mother's throat and pours gasoline over her. Despite her desperate pleas, Mink sets her on fire. The camera's final shot focuses on a voodoo doll with needles stuck in it, labeled with Mink's family name. Before the credits roll, we see Nim's final interview from the day before she died. With tears streaming down her face, she asks, "Was Ba Yan ever really within me at all?" By doubting her connection to the goddess, Nim lost Ba Yan's protection. When the family's faith weakened, the vengeful spirits seized their opportunity. The Medium is a haunting exploration of faith, family curses, and the terrifying consequences when protection is lost. The film masterfully blends documentary-style realism with supernatural horror, making us question whether spiritual forces are real or if doubt itself can destroy us. The movie reminds us that some debts span generations, and some sins cannot be forgiven, only paid for in blood. Mink becomes a tragic victim, caught between her family's dark past and her mother's rejection of divine protection. What did you think of this film? Did you find the documentary style effective, or would you have preferred a traditional narrative? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this disturbing tale. If you enjoyed this recap, please hit that like button and subscribe for more horror content. Until next time, stay safe out there.